In this video, we are going to modify the UCS Slave 1 to be more movie accurate. If you want to know how to make a 3-figure cockpit, as well as a seismic charge holder, keep watching. Let's start with the cockpit. First, what I'm going to have you do is take off that glass piece, and when you get down to here, you're going to want to remove both these panels, this front section right here, and then you're going to be able to pry these two plates apart, which will leave you with these pieces connected into the wall, and we're going to keep those. Let me actually remove this gun right here. We're going to keep these pieces right intact. And with that done, I will show you how to build the new cockpit. Okay, so this is going to be for the seat. So what you're going to need is, I've built it in chunks so you can see everything. This is a 6x6 round plate with a hole in the middle, with a 4x4 round plate with a hole in the middle on top, a black grill piece, and then a 2x1 plate, and one of these levers right here. And for a lot of the builds of this, it doesn't matter what colors you use, as a lot of them will be covered up. For this one, I found light gray looks the best with the ship, since it is mostly light gray, but it can also be dark gray. And if you wanted to black, but black just doesn't look as good, but it does look fine. Once you have that, you're going to need this piece, and this is actually part of, some of this piece came off from the original Slave one, so you don't need a ton of extra pieces because I did reuse a few, but you need to have a small enough collection to be able to get some of these pieces. But these two pieces, these two 1x2 plates right here, do not matter what color they are, they will not be seen. And then these 3 pieces right here come with the set. And then there's this piece right here, it's called a bracket piece. It's a 2x1 plate with a 2x1 plate bracket on the front. So that is all you're going to need for that. And you're going to place that under this at an angle, so farther back, so that it kind of lines up with this and just makes it look thicker. Once you have that done, you will need to build one of these. This is a grill piece, a 2x1 brick grill piece, but this does not matter if you use this one or just a normal light gray piece, or even a piece with some sort of control sticker on it, that would work as well. Again, these pieces down here don't matter, they're both 2x1 plates. There's another 2x1 plate in there, it doesn't matter. These pieces got cracked, but they're the only pieces I had, so I had to use them. There's a 2x2 slope, and then a control panel. You can use the one that came in the set, but this one just is a lot more detailed because he did have a lot of red in his controls. And then I added the 2 red lights here, and I added this antenna thing, whatever it is here. I will throw up pictures. This thing was particularly hard to make because I had to try and get as accurate to the photos as possible, but you're just going to stick it on right there like that, and that is how that will look. I'm going to throw up a few pictures right now of the concept art because there was not much from the movie, and the little there was, it was really hard to tell what the cockpit looked like, so I used a couple toys as inspiration. I also used a bit of concept art and pictures from the episode 2 movie and The Mandalorian, but this is what I was able to come up with. It is more realistic than the original cockpit that was in the Slave one, so that is all that I can ask for. And then over here we have the back of his seat, and I'll throw up that concept art again so you can kind of see how the seat was meant to look. I tried to capture the yellow with this stud right here, and you can look how all this was built. All of these pieces are pretty easy to find. This might, one in the middle with a bar on each end, a 2x1 with a bar on each end, might be the hardest to find, but that can be used for the seat. And if you don't have this, you could obviously make your own or something like it. That will go right on top of that plate, and that is where Boba Fett will sit. Now I also wanted to capture something that every single Slave 1 Legos ever made has missed, and that is the double seating behind Boba Fett. So what I have here is a 2x4 light gray plate with a 2x6 light gray plate and two black grill pieces, excuse me, right there, that will go right under here. Whoops. I'm trying to do all this one-handed. This will go right under there. I'm not going to connect it right now because that's going to be too much work to do one-handed, but these are the back of the seats. You need one of these 2x1s with a bar so that it can go in the middle, and then you can see all the rest of the pieces used here. Not any uncommon pieces, so this should be fairly easy to make. I kind of based it off of his Boba Fett's chair, but I was not able to put the bar pieces because just space, and they don't need to be as crazy detailed as his chair is. So those are the chairs where your minifigures will sit. So once you have that done, you can connect it here, and then I'll show you how to connect it to the actual Slave 1. This is very simple, but you're going to want to make sure that these are in the right position. Put them both all the way up, and once those are there, you're going to want to place this right like that, and the corners will be kind of showing out from the circular plate, but let me place that in place. Okay, so once you have that clipped in, you're going to want to push this down and pull it kind of forward so that these gray pieces down here, as you can see, that are moving, reach up high enough and hit the black studs. That just helps it rotate backward without these seats, that the headrests and the seats hitting the back. Once that is done, you can swing it right back down, and that is how it looks. Okay, I put in the Mandalorian and Boba Fett in there and the child back there, and as you can see, the cockpit looks pretty good, but there is this tan part back here that doesn't look great. That is what this was put in there to cover up, but obviously we can't do that since these seat extensions behind him will not allow for it. It won't fit if we do that. So I'm going to show you how to build a nice little accurate background for the cockpit. Okay, I'm going to quickly throw up the concept art again so you can kind of see what should be back there, at least when they're rotated down. So, with that in mind, I'm going to put this piece in there. It's a black 2x4 plate with two yellow grills and then these control panels. So we'll just move these guys up out of the way and slide that right on down in. And boom, that will make it look a little bit better when it is in that mode. And we're also going to put these two 2x1 black bricks down in here, covering that tan completely. So we're just gonna lay this down there. It's kind of hard to get the fingers down there, but we're gonna lay it down there, slide it right onto those, and push it right on till it clip. The last thing with the cockpit will be done on this piece, and this is probably the most unnecessary part of all of this. So if you don't have the pieces to do this or just don't want to do this, that is totally fine, but we'll take off those two pieces. We'll build this. It's a 2x2 bracket on a 2x1 plate, and it has two of these yellow grills on it. And we'll place that right where that brownish piece was, and make sure all that can clip right there. We'll get out that tan piece and place that right over top. Placing the cockpit on, you can see that yellow under there. And that is how the cockpit will look when your Slave 1 is in flight mode. I have placed it back onto the stand for this. And with that, the cockpit is done, but we still have the back. Switching it to the back, we are going to build in a place for the seismic charges to drop out of, and our own seismic charges. Another thing you could do is switch out the engines, each of these pieces, for this piece in orange, and also this piece in orange. I do not have those pieces in my collection, but they're relatively cheap on Bricklink if you do want to swap those out. To accomplish this seismic charge offloader, we will take off this whole section right here, as well as on the other side. And then we will simply grab this panel and pull it off like so. Now, to build where the bomb will drop, you're going to need these bricks, which already came with the set, and you're going to need 2 of these 2x4 or 4x4 plates, and 2 of those studs. And then you're going to need this. It is a 1x12 plate, and this piece on top of it already comes in the set. What you're going to do with this is place it right on top, and then get a 1x10 plate in light gray and place it across. Once you have that, you are going to get these whole assemblies. We didn't even have to break these at all. You will put that on that side like that, and one on this side like that. You're going to take this piece, which is also from the set. It is this. You're going just to take off those 2x3 plates at the top and instead put on a 2x2. Once you have that on, you will clip that under here and then put on a tile right here. This could be basically any piece you want it to be. I just thought this one looked the best. Then you're going to take all these parts which were in the original back of the Slave 1 and place them all right back onto this. Again, more parts that were on the Slave 1. Just to add more detail, you will lay those both like that. And then on this side, you are going to build your door. It is 2 of these parts right here with 2 of these clip 1x1 plates with a clip. This part isn't necessary. It just looks kind of good with the back, and it is also kind of a handle to help you pull out this tab. And you also cannot build this 2 plates thick, otherwise it won't open. So you're going to have to put on one of these pieces under here and place that right there. Once you have that placed on, you can add both these sides. And this is the part that will hold the bomb. So you just need 5 of these pieces. This one does come in the set. These could be any color. They will not be visible. So any color for these. You will put those onto the back of this, onto the bottom part right here, and it will go there, just like that. When placing this on, I found it was best to remove the engines entirely. They're pretty simple to pull off, and that just gives you a lot more access. So what you're going to do with this is drop it right on in there, and this part will go right in between these 2 Technic bricks, and this axle will get in the way if the bricks went all the way to the top. That is why they're not all the way to the top. So you will just drop this right on in there and carefully and gently push it in. Once you've done that, you can put in your seismic charge just like so and close your door. You're also going to want to put back on your engines if you did take those off. And to demonstrate, here's your door. You're just going to open this guy right here, and out will fall your seismic charge. If you liked this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, as this did take me about 3 hours to film and make these parts, and I think it looks pretty good. So leave a comment, tell me what you think, tell me if you're going to do this, and yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.